Hello, my name is Daniel Scuria-Herman, and this video is going to be a little bit different. Uh, Today, I'll be speaking on the topic of maximum security prisons, which I already covered in a previous video, and I sort of want to retread my steps here because uh, that video got a lot of attention, um, and I sort of want to address some concerns that people had with it. Uh, Specifically, it was my reaction video to this YouTuber visiting the CECOT, which is this terrorism confinement center in El Salvador. Uh, and the thing is with it, when I was sort of covering this video, my reactions to it were that I believed that the prisons should be focused on rehabilitation and shouldn't be focused on just cruel and unusual punishment. And people had a reaction to that. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna first watch a part of the video that people had some concerns about, and then I'll respond to some criticisms that people had. And this is all because, just to specify, this is all because I don't believe that I articulated myself well. So I just want to make sure that I was clear. I want to make sure that everyone can sort of understand where I'm coming from and we can all just reach common ground, because I think overall that's something that we should try to do.
Committed different crimes at different times.
Absolutely everything is done in here, from going to the bathroom to cleaning up. Everything is done in here open. This group behind me alone is
It is crazy that how few human rights prisoners actually get. You know? Like, if you think about it, okay, yeah, they committed a crime and they should be punished for it, but how far does it go? You know, like, I think that, I don't know, punishing them by taking away any ability for privacy or humility, I think that's just, it's a bit far. I think they're going to bring up isolation again, but that's also got its own fair share of problems.
We are in El Salvador, and today...
Okay. So, that was one of the parts of the video that sort of set people off, and I still stand by that. I don't think that I was sort of disillusioned in that moment. I think that I fully just agree with what I said there, that prisons shouldn't just be focused on senseless punishment. And yeah, I'm gonna go more in depth about this, but first let's check out the comments and what people had to say. This video got a lot of attention and is now the most popular video on my channel. So again, I want to thank everybody for the attention, and did not expect this to just blow up like crazy. If you want to see more content like this, then either let me know in the comments or subscribe. Yeah, it got a lot of likes too. I just want to thank everybody for everything. I don't know why it says 0 dislikes. I got 4 dislikes on it. It wasn't, widely positively received. So I just want to. I don't know why it says 0. It should say 4. Anyway, okay. So this first comment here, and I started to go through it when I first published the video. I went through a couple of the comments, but then they kept flooding in, so I stopped it. I said I'm gonna just make a video on it. I'm gonna just respond to it in one go and sort of take care of all of it. But this first comment sort of like exemplifies the entire point I'm trying to make here. So this commenter said, You said being a human, you should have human rights. Well, that just shows what a good life you've had. I wish that was the case of everyone, but I grew up in El Salvador, where 10-year-old children just go to the morgue to check if that decapitated head that was found on the road is their missing mother. So yeah, we don't feel sorry for them. And also, for some reason, every single commenter on this video, and it feels like every single viewer was a native El Salvadoran. So I think that out of anyone who stumbled across this video, I was at least qualified to speak on it. But I'm not coming from this from a place of expertise. I'm coming from this from a place of just basic curiosity and empathy. And I never claimed to be an expert on this subject. I am just coming at this from my perspective and what I just think of this. So, this quote, I don't know where from the video it's quoted from, but it does sound like me. Being a human, you should have human rights. Even after reading that comment, I don't disagree with myself. I think that if you are human, you should have human rights. Should these people be let free? Absolutely not. These people committed horrible crimes. They are in a terrorism confinement center. They deserve to be there. They all had fair trials. They all, they all committed these just acts of terrorism essentially, and it completely destabilized the country of El Salvador. They ought to be there. I never said that they weren't. I never said that they should be freed. I'm just saying that any prison ever should have its goal be rehabilitation. Because if the goal of a prison is not rehabilitation, then the prison isn't doing its job, and the prison shouldn't be there. And yes, you're right. I did not grow up in El Salvador. I grew up in America, in Brooklyn. I'm not El Salvadoran. I also don't think that means that I should just avoid this topic altogether and just not speak on it at all because I'm not from there. I think that that's going to create a division in life. If you can only speak on what you are an absolute expert on, then no one can really speak on anything unless you have a PhD. I can't speak on writing until I have a PhD in writing, and I'm not going to get a PhD in writing because in life that's most likely going to be useless. I understand where this person is coming from. Yes, I did not grow up in El Salvador. Yes, I did not have the life experience of an El Salvadoran. And yes, these people committed horrible acts. And yes, these people should be punished for them. I still believe that rehabilitation should be the goal, and rehabilitation should be the focus of the prison. Even though it's a terrorist confinement center, I do believe that should be this sort of goal here, is not to just throw these people away and ignore them. I think that they're still people, and that I think in the video itself, the documentarian said some of these people committed crimes when they were very young, and now they're much older, and now they're just doomed themselves for life. I don't think that that's how we should just operate. I don't think that that's how we should treat these people. So, I don't feel... Okay. I don't feel sorry for them. Going to the end of this comment, I don't feel sorry for them, really. Because yes, they put themselves there. But I also want them to get the resources to try to be better. Because everyone should have the opportunity to be better. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't think that... I don't believe that they have it worse than their victims. Which was another thing brought up in these comments that people said that I said, which I didn't. The victims obviously were treated, very harshly, sometimes killed. I don't think anyone is saying that these people have it worse off than their victims. I think what I'm saying, or at least what I tried to say, was that these people should have the opportunity to try to improve. And that in the CECOT, they're not given that opportunity. Anyway, a lot of these points are repeated throughout the comments, so I'm just gonna move along for the sake of flow here. This is one of the comments I responded to. As a Salvadoran and someone who was affected by those people, I'm more than happy with their actual situation. I even think they are being treated too nice for what they have done in the past, and believe me, once they hurt you, you never care about them anymore. PD, good video. This is one of the first comments on the video, and I think he meant PS. I looked up PD, unless he's saying police department, good video. I do. I also understand that none of these people in the comments are native English speakers, so I understand. It just caught me off guard when I saw PD. But PS, good video. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I definitely think this is one of my better reaction videos, so I'm glad that at least this one uh, blew up instead of the other ones that weren't as good. Um, but yeah, I don't really like my videos. So I'm glad that someone does. But yes, thank you for contributing your stories. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for liking it. Just thank you for everything. Again, yes, these people committed horrible acts. Yes, these people are terrorists. I agree with all of that. And yes, they should be locked up, but they should also be rehabilitated. And they should have the opportunity to redeem themselves. I'm not saying like they should say like, oh, I'm sorry, and then get let out. Rehabilitation is a process. It takes a while. And they should have the opportunities there to receive that. There was one point in the video where there's an area of the prison that I thought, and I don't know if I said this out loud in the video, where I thought there was going to be a rehabilitation center, but it was really just an area where the prisoners went to get charged with more things once more evidence got discovered. So I think it's feasible that there could be opportunities for rehabilitation in this prison. It's just not there right now. And again, I'm not an expert on El Salvador. I'm not an expert on the CECOT. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just sort of perceiving and trying to understand the lives of others. And yeah, so I'm just gonna hopefully I can continue to do that, because I think that through this video I understand it better, and through these comments I hope to learn more as well. I am a full-time college student, and I'm also looking for a part-time job at the same time. I do not have time to research videos in advance, so I can't really come from this from a place of expertise. I can only come from this from my genuine, articulated opinions. So I'm not going to be an expert. I'm just going to be me, and hopefully that's sufficient. I did respond to this one, so I want to say thank you for your kind words, which I second. Thank you, past May. I realized as the video went on the extent to the crimes these people committed, so I understand where you're coming from completely. Somehow, at the beginning, I titled the video, The Scary Conditions of Maximum Security Prisons. At the beginning of the video, I didn't realize that it was like a terrorism confinement center. I must have been talking over the documentarian when he said that. But, yes, these people committed horrible crimes, a lot more horrible than I understood. And there's one part of the video where they bring out all these prisoners, and he says, "Oh, these people committed like 200 murders. Everybody behind me committed 200 murders," and I had a reaction to that. I wasn't like, "Oh wow, that's not that much. Let them free." No, that's horrible, and they should be punished for that. I feel like you can have a maximum security prison, but you can also still give them human rights. I was looking for the part in the video where I said what I was just referencing, but that's also the quote that I believe I've seconded in this video. I don't disagree with anything I said. I want to make that clear. I just don't think I phrased it well, and that's what I'm trying to do with this video, is phrase it better.
Talking with a guard, I was just given a piece of information that shocked me, and that is that this group alone, which is behind my back, is very possibly directly or indirectly responsible for more than 200 homicides. What a blood-curdling piece of information. Once they are formed and the perimeter is protected by guards, their
Don't say that
handcuffs
too
are
loudly.
removed so that they can move.
I did try to make light of it because I was freaked out. But yeah, I'm not saying that, oh, wow, people make mistakes. Oh, mistakes happen. No, they committed horrible crimes and they're getting punished for it. I understand that. I just, yes, I understand that these people are in here for a reason. And that, it was a 23-minute video. It was a bit of a long one. That quote, that part came in at minute 12. So yes, all up until that point, I did not realize the extent exactly to the crimes. So a lot of these people are, I think, I didn't check the analytics that closely, but I do believe that people would stop watching before the halfway mark, and this is right after the halfway mark. So yeah, for the entire first half of the video, I did not truly grasp the stakes at hand. So yes, as the video went on, I understood the extent to the crimes, which is what happens when you watch a video and you just sort of increasingly understand it. Also over here, there's Wilbur Soot allegations. I have never watched a Wilbur Soot video, but I've heard of him. I don't know if people want me to see that, but I can if people want me to. I don't know. That's up to anybody who cares to ask for it. Anyway, this next person, he was one of the first that I responded to as well. Casiio. I hope I'm not butchering that. Okay. You see, there's many things to talk about here. The fact of the matter is they're not in a rehab center. It's a confinement center for terrorists, and they are all killers. To initiate on a gang there, you must kill. And that's not the only thing they do. I've heard so many stories and got to live through others growing up in El Salvador. So, there's a lot of information in this comment, so I'm going to break down that first paragraph first. First off, thank you very much, Mr. Carius, for providing all this information. That was very helpful, and you also helped me learn more about the subject in general. I had no idea that to initiate on a gang there you must kill. That puts things in a very different perspective, which means every single person in this confinement center is a killer. And that's just a fact, because they're all gang members. But at the same time, I don't think that absolves them of any opportunity for redemption, because I think that actually shows that they're forced into this life immediately because of the conditions of El Salvador. I think that if immediately upon joining this gang you have to commit the worst crime imaginable, unless you count multiple murders as a separate crime, you have to commit the worst crime imaginable, then they're indoctrinated from day one and they can't get out. They can't become they can't move on, because now they're already murderers, and now is the sunken cost fallacy. So with a lot of these people that are in here, they're stuck there, and they probably didn't want to be a murderer, be a terrorist, but now they're stuck there and they don't have the opportunity for redemption or rehabilitation. So yeah, and yes, I know it's not a rehab center. I know they're not addicts going in saying oh, I'm just 3 days clean, can you help me? That's not what's going on here, and that's not what I'm saying what's going on here. What I'm trying to articulate is that prisoners should be rehabilitated, and that should be the goal of all prisons, even maximum security prisons, and yes, even terrorism confinement centers. Of course, these people should be kept away from the public and to protect the public at any cost. No matter what, that should just be the goal of a prison, is to make sure that people are safe. But to ensure the people's safety, you should also ensure the safety of the people in the prison by rehabilitating them, by making sure they can re-enter society when and if they are able to. And if they are unable to, then they should be kept in the prison. That's my stance on it. That's what I was trying to say. He goes on to say, the other thing about no mattresses and no meat is not just to be cruel. The president says that if the government cannot feed all of the poor some chicken, the criminals are not going to be their priority. And I agree with that. Shrug emoji. Sad but fair. Thank you, Cisco, for commenting. That is a very good point, and that's a very good piece of information, and that I completely agree on. I agree with Cisco Carriers on everything here. The fact that, you know, all the prisoners are killers. The whole no mattress and no meat thing makes sense now, and the reasoning for that makes sense as well. I can actually go ahead and replay that part of the video, because that was one of the things I had a strong reaction to.
With beans, cream, and 2 tortillas. They
Doesn't
tell
look
me
too
that
bad.
breakfast and dinner is usually the same. It is usually the same dish. And at lunchtime, maybe they can serve some pasta. Maybe they can serve a rice with a different preparation. But they never really eat chicken or meat. That doesn't exist here. That doesn't exist.
So they're like vegan? They keep the prisoners. I made it about veganism for some reason. I don't know. I go back and forth on like vegan or vegetarianism, because yes, it's healthy, but you also need protein in your diet. I go off on tangents a lot. I don't know if any returning viewers have noticed this. That's the whole point of On the Topic Of, is just an extended tangent. Yeah, I just randomly start talking about veganism. What I was trying to say there is you can't subsist. Most of the time, you're not going to be able to subsist on a diet lacking in protein. And for some reason, I made that about veganism. Yes, I understand completely why the no mattress and no meat thing is a thing now. I didn't understand that at the time. It wasn't said in the video. Or if it was, I missed it because I'm human. But yes, thank you, Cisco, for providing that information. And I responded to this comment. I said that I agree with that completely, and I agree with my agreeing. I think I didn't phrase my stance in this video all too well. I just have trouble saying assertively that anyone deserves hardship. That is a very good point about the mattresses, though. Puts everything in perspective. Thanks for stopping by. And thank you all for stopping by as well. Yeah, I just have trouble saying assertively that anyone deserves hardship. That is something I stand by. That is something I guess I should try to work on, but it's hard for me to just sort of say, like, yes, you deserve bad things. It's hard for me to just say that to someone. I just, even though, yes, these people are murderers and terrorists and all that, what have you, it's hard for me to just take a stand and say, yeah, you deserve just torture. So, yeah. But yes, I understand the reasons why. Okay. Now, Randy Galeano says, dude, there's another documentary, but I don't know if it's in English, also from El Salvador, that shows how the government has a whole rehabilitation process for people that commit crimes. From the moment a prisoner steps in prison, where they get educated in all types of ways, learn skills, and some even get a job before getting out. I think what you need to understand is that these people are not your regular criminals. They are literally responsible for more than 120,000 plus homicides. Before I go on, yes, I understand that, and that was stated in the video. There was even a part where he said these people cannot get jobs, that the people working in the prison are actually from other prisons. Yeah, I understand that. And there wasn't really a point where I understood that I didn't really understand it as terrorism, but I understood it as maximum security. Yeah, I understand that prisons are going to have a rehabilitation process and that this is not a normal prison. I still think that prisons, any prison in general at all, should always have a rehabilitation process. That a prison without a rehabilitation process is just a torture chamber, and there's no reason for it to exist. Everyone in El Salvador has been affected directly or indirectly. The government, and specifically Bukele, who I think is the current president of El Salvador, gave them the chance to stop, but they actually started killing more people. That's why the special prison was created, and no, this prison is not to rehabilitate them. In fact, most of these people won't ever be out again. And yes, I understand all of that. I disagree. I understand. It's just a fact that this prison is not for rehabilitation, but I think it should be. I think that any prison ever should be for rehabilitation. But yes, the El Salvador situation is difficult, and I can't really speak on it because I'm not El Salvadoran, nor have I ever been to El Salvador, nor have I ever really heard anything about El Salvador before this point. I just think that in general, I'm using this as an example to make a larger point that prisons should be for rehabilitation. Even when they've committed horrible crimes such as these, prisons should still be for rehabilitation. And if it's not for rehabilitation, it's doing its job wrong. Here's another comment. It is very difficult for people like you, people who were born in first world countries like Canada or the European continent, very safe places on the planet compared to our countries. I know this isn't the point of the comment, but countries like Canada or the European continent, I'm confused why I didn't say America. Because I feel like that's a very easy thing to say, oh, countries like America. But countries like Canada or the European continent feels like it's actively avoiding saying America. I don't know, that confused me for a little bit, but I understand what he's saying. It is impossible for them to understand our situation of fear plus extreme poverty. This is the reason why those of us who emigrated prefer to die on the road, trying to do so, rather than return to the misery in which the governments are parties, such as the USA, he mentions America, and the international organizations of Europe. And this is our daily vision. Bad English, I really hope you understand my words, it's not my native language, completely. I don't fault anyone here for having bad English. I'm in a very privileged position to be a writing major. I cannot really talk down on anybody for speaking English badly, especially when they don't grow up in America. But yes, this video is not really, this video specifically, it's not really about me. It's sort of about what I said. I'm not going to really speak to my past, speak to anything that's happened to me, because I don't think that really matters or changes anything that I've said. Yeah, and I did not live in El Salvador, so I don't know how bad those conditions were. But yeah, it's really messed up what's going on there. Again, third world countries like El Salvador versus first world countries like America, you can't really compare the two. So yes, it is better to have a prison where these people are kept from harming the public rather than them running rampant. But proceeding in the future, now that this is set up, I believe that the government can strive to focus on rehabilitation. I'm not saying that should take precedent over civilians' lives, like Cisco Carius said. That he put it very well. The president says that if the government cannot feed all of the poor some chicken, the criminals are not going to be their priority. Again, that was put very well. Yes, El Salvador is struggling, and this is helping them. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen. I'm saying that it should be run better in the future. That's sort of what I was trying to say. And I'm sorry that I did not put that well. There's a couple more comments that are not showing up here. Hold on. Okay. You're seeing all this from the lens as an American. What these people did doesn't deserve pity or sympathy. Where was the sympathy for the victims in the way they were tortured, raped, and murdered people? El Salvador is a safe country now with less murders than the United States. The proof is right there. Again, the video was not about the victims. I could not say in the video There was no point where it showed like a victim's family and said like, and I that would have given me the opportunity to say, wow, these people have it so bad. I do not have like more sympathy for the prisoners than I do the victims. And I'm sorry that I ever implied that in the video. I just have sympathy for humans because that's just a natural, just human trait. It's just to feel for others who are also human. It's not really something that I chose. It's not really like, oh, I like this person. I like, what this person is doing or saying. I'm going to agree with them. No, it's not really what I'm saying here at all. I think that everyone deserves pity and sympathy as long as they're human. And yes, these people, there were the victims were treated horribly, and they deserve so much and deserve help and sympathy and all of that. But as humans, the prisoners also deserve sympathy. Not more sympathy. They shouldn't just be let free. Again, I'm saying they should remain locked up. They should be punished. I just think that a normal amount of human empathy is okay. Okay, this last comment. LOL, this guy, he's wokeful. Their victims lost all their human rights. They actually lost their lives. And you're here crying over a monster's human rights. GTFOHLOL. This man used a lot of acronyms, some of which I do not understand. But I understand the point. And I don't know what he means by wokeful. But yes. At no point in the video was I crying over a monster's human rights. I don't believe I was taken aback at parts for sure. I was very shocked and surprised by things that happened in the video, and I said, wow, these people are treated harshly. But I never really cried over a monster's human rights. Yeah, of course, it could be a hyperbole. What I'm trying to say is, I didn't lose sleep over these prisoners. I didn't say like, I didn't, go to bed at night and just toss and turn, wondering, oh, these murderers in El Salvador, I hope that they can have better conditions. No, they're not monsters. They're humans, but they are murderers, and they were treated very harshly. They treated their victims very harshly, is what I was trying to say, and now they're treated harshly as well. I didn't cry over the monster's human rights. I just said, as this man over here said, being a human, you should have human rights. Yeah, I still stand by that. Do they have more human rights than anybody? No. Everybody has an equal amount of human rights because that's what comes with being human. So, I hope that understands. And I saw on the sidebar, there's a lot of people that are coming up that also reacted to this video. So I want to check out someone else's video, see how they differed in their sort of perception of the video, and how it strayed from what I had said.
Has a capacity to receive about 100 people deprived of their freedom. Although these numbers may vary, it is very shocking to see it up close. Criminals sleep in a 4-tier bunk system without any kind of mattress, and once people enter here, they will not leave until they finish their sentences.
No mattress, no nothing, bro.
Bro, they don't sleep on mattresses.
Hard metal. Get some.
Well, I'm about to say, why they don't give them mattresses, though?
I don't know.
They can't make a weapon out of mattress, yo.
Yeah, they can. I heard a dude say...
Yeah, I should finish.
You can't make no weapon out of no...
Sorry.
What's that, cotton? How you gonna make a weapon out of cotton?
If a dude say he can make a weapon out of 15 pieces of paper...
That's different. This is cotton, yo. This inside the pillow.
These dudes is crafty, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I be feeling like the most
that's crazy.
Talented dudes is in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they provided an angle on it. But that started with basic human empathy for these people that, are committed crimes. They don't get mattresses, and I know now. I don't think these people came in with much background to the situation either. I know now why they don't get mattresses. But when you see that at first, you're going to have this reaction where, oh, these people are suffering. And that's natural and that's human. And it's sort of, I say this in the nicest way possible, that is this sort of bias because of the experience that people have had with these gangs, that they can't see them as human anymore. I don't fault anyone for that, because after the things that they've experienced, that's a natural reaction. That's, in fact, just warranted. And I don't think anyone should be blamed. I'm not blaming anyone in my comment section for being mad at me for my stance. I was just trying to explain it better. But yeah, it makes perfect sense to hate these people and to want them to die or suffer or be tortured or whatever. I'm just saying that in general, I don't want that for humans. And that's pretty much what these guys are saying too. To a lesser effect, they didn't articulate it the same way I did. They sort of went more in depth about the weapons that a prisoner can make. But, you know, it's sort of the same general idea. I'm going to link this video in the description if you want to check out their full reaction. I'm probably going to include like 1 or 2 more clips of it that are relevant, but I recommend, if you liked my video, go check out theirs.
But you also had some people in there that's not going home at all.
Yeah.
First of all, man, I want to say, man, I feel sorry for everybody that's doing, even though y'all did the crimes. Mm-hmm. I understand, bro, but I feel sorry for y'all. Y'all spend the rest of y'all life in prison. Mm. You feel me? I feel sorry that and then what's crazy is when people spend a long time in prison, like gang member shot calls or even in game, they always come to the terminology like, yo, just don't join the gang.
Always.
You feel me? And for people that see this video that's even thinking about joining the gang, because we got people in different countries that support us, bro. I just say like, yo, just do the right thing, man. Do the right thing.
Absolutely.
This was this video right here hit home for me a little bit. Like, dang, yo, I feel sorry for these people, man. They gotta live like an army for the rest of their life.
Like animals, bro.
Yeah, bro. If you do something wrong, a little light, and you feel me?
You got a bucket to pee in. No, a bucket to
And it's probably you're probably stinking there and all that, bro. Oh, man, bro. Look, man. If y'all new to the channel, y'all want more videos like this, please let us know. We appreciate y'all and we love y'all.
Yeah.
I'm Nick Dunson.
And Mookie Dunson.
And we out, baby. 1.
Okay. Yeah. I wanted them to let their finish an outro. Check out Dunson House. Their video is going to be linked in the description below. But that point was very well articulated at the end, which is why I just let it run. I was thinking of just jumping in. But yes, they did the crime. They're doing the time. But you still feel sorry for them. That's just a natural human response. I don't know. Let me check their comments. They got similar comments to mine. Yeah. It's pretty much the exact same comments that I got. Yeah. Listen. I know it's not like a personal thing against me. I was just trying to help others understand my viewpoint and try to understand others' viewpoints. And now I understand completely others' viewpoints about, this whole mattresses and meat thing that Cisco Carriers brought up. All these things makes perfect sense to me now. I still feel a little bit sorry for them, and I want them to have the opportunity to be better and to eventually possibly go free. But at the same time, I understand where people are coming from. So I hope that sort of helped everybody understand where I was coming from, where everybody else was coming from, and I hope I understood what everyone was trying to say. So that's all I have to say. Until next time, adieu.